It was once a force which was born from necessity, unifying the free peoples against the Witch Queen, and is fallen to corruption. Welcome to this continuation of my DireLands system-agnostic dark fantasy campaign setting. My name is Adam, and in this episode I will be discussing the history of the Triumvirate in DireLands. If you appreciate the development of this campaign setting or the features of other games on this channel, I'd like to invite you to consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You can even purchase tabletop role-playing games using my affiliate link in the description below. To understand the need for a knighthood like the Triumvirate, we need to go back over a millennia to 1113 AM, or after men arrived from the West, which preceded the nation's epic. You see, the arrival of the men from the West and their carving out their colonies along the western shore of the continent of Falest spurred conflicts for over 600 years. The nation of Locastin was formed as a direct result of this threat from the West, and territorial disputes were a continuous point of conflict. Even the First Nations people of Kalia were forced to come together and form the tribal collective known as the Bealgos. To face off against these border threats, the Triumvirate was founded by First Knight Commander Anthony Keel. Commander Keel had a vision of a unified government for Bressus and an order to stand in support of that government's protection. He was joined by Lord Hess Rusarius, the leader of the Riken colony, and Maga Leonard Yule, priest of the Order of Nuada, the god of war. Together they outlined the three orders of the Triumvirate. The Triumvirate was governed by the Order of Shields, which itself was overseen by the Master of Shields, Lord Rusarius. This order oversaw the public relations, distribution of the coffers, and general assignments of the Triumvirate's Order of Arms. The Order of Arms is led by the Master of Arms, Commander Keel. This order commands the troops on assignments from the Order of Shields. They are in charge of training, readiness, and protection of the army and borders of Bressus. In times of war, they command the troops and brigades against national enemies. The third order is the Order of Books. This was led by Maga Yule, who insisted on the focus of spiritual purity and education for all soldiers of the Triumvirate. They would train the army in the rules of war, history, and religion. Over the years, the Triumvirate became a force of bureaucracy in itself, working with the heads of the nation of Bressus and defending the realm, solidifying its borders between Locastin and Kalia, while monitoring the ever-shifting borders of the wildlands. The Order's national seat is located in the Grand Lord city of Trinius, the capital of Bressus. From here, for 1,000 years, the Order maintained peace and prosperity through defense and instilling order throughout the nation. Some conflicts of note are the incursion of 1012 AM, known as the Face Stealers' War, the territory shift of 875 AM, known as the Dryad Migration in the years following, and the Vitro Peninsula liberation of 535 AM against the Locastin forces. Throughout the years, as new masters took the head of the orders of the Triumvirate, its righteous mission would wax and wane in national popularity, but it would always support the Emperor of Bressus and try its best to balance politics, social change, and national defense. The Triumvirate was tested most in the Frozen epic. After hundreds of years of the Witch Queen's rule, the Triumvirate was able to unify the free peoples of Falest in each of the three nations and lead their combined forces in a three-pronged assault against the Gaulex, the military force of the Witch Queen. This operation took a decade, with countless lives lost and hundreds of military operations turned aside. But in the end, their engineer corps of the Order of Books worked to tunnel under the Grux Range, while the armada of the Order of Arms fought the sea battle north of the Vitro Peninsula against the Gaulex's armada, and a group of heroes traveled to the sacred ruins of Visiozes in the Grux Range. They opened an ancient portal which allowed the Triumvirate to transport its forces deep into the Grux Range and assault the Gaulex forces in their home territory. The campaign was the bloodiest in history, But in the end, the Master of Arms, Commander Wills, sacrificed himself and his unit to detonate a bomb crafted by the Xi'an Order, which leveled the Zez fields and eliminated the Witch Queen. While it still took the lion's share of a decade to clean up the remnant forces of the Galeks, driving them back to the Grook's range, the security and freedom of the three nations was secured. In the years following the Witch Queen's defeat, politics began to take the Triumvirate over. The Emperor no longer felt the need to fund such a massive force, and the senators of Bressus began to leverage the forces for their own selfish needs. They would turn them against their own people, setting up military blockades and terrorizing any who would speak out against them. Kickbacks and backdoor deals were made with the masters of the orders and their subcommanders, with crony command favors taking over the orders. As corruption set in, the once proud organization became complacent and corrupt, ill-prepared to face any new national threats. The military might of the Triumvirate is a shadow of what it was even a decade before, but not all members of the Triumvirate are content to leave the once proud order in its current state. And with the growing rumors of ancient foes and forces rising in the frozen glacial north, now more than ever is the time for heroes to rise and lead the Triumvirate to glory. In the current year of 75 FA, or Frozen Age, the Triumvirate is poised for its greatest comeback, or its ultimate downfall, and only the outcome of your home campaign can determine its ultimate fate. Do you believe the Triumvirate can reclaim its glory of old? Has a systemic corruption infested the Triumvirate to their detriment? And will you stand with them to face the coming threats? The future of these DireLands are in your hands. Thank you for watching today's DireLand Fantasy Campaign Setting episode. Please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, liking and commenting on this video, and if you enjoy this episode, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Always remember that evil spelled backwards is live, so get out there and be evil.